And welcome to PPR Podcast number 179, brought to you by the San Diego Strike Force. Bert Grossman representing the Strike Force. I'm representing the PPR. And who's our special guest, Bert?
Aubrey Laue from Helix High School. Became quite famous over the weekend.
Aubrey, you are the second female to make the podcast. Congratulations on that honor. And oh, what a story we opened our eyes to with courtesy Marcus Jones and the PPR Underdog segment. Before we get to your life story, tell us how it felt to be doing the Underdog segment with Marcus. He's a pretty talented guy, is he not?
Yeah, it was definitely a very memorable experience. I had a great time being able to talk to him and share my story with him and everybody else that's going to be watching the episode.
Marcus is a man of few words, too.
Yeah, he doesn't talk a lot, but boy, he put together a great piece. And for those who don't know, it's an achievement all to itself. Here you are, you're in the rough and tumble world of boys football, you're the kicker on the team, and you're not like some third string kicker, you are the varsity kicker on the team. You can make or break a game, they rely on you. You're also a soccer player, and that for most people would be enough. But the fact that you're there and on the field is really what's the story, what makes you an underdog. Please tell us your story.
Yeah, so definitely. So my name is Aubrey Laue. I'm a senior at Helix Charter High School, and I'm the kicker for the football team, but I also was born with congenital heart disease. So in basic terms, I was born with holes in my heart that separate like the chambers, and my deoxygenated and oxygenated blood would mix. And so then when my heart would pump out blood to the rest of my body, I wouldn't get enough oxygen. So I've had 3 procedures to fix it. I've had 2 catheter procedures. And then after my second catheter procedure, it actually failed and made it worse. So a week later, I had to have emergency open heart surgery where they like went in and actually like put patches over the holes. But now I'm fully unrestricted. I can do anything I want to do. And I'm really grateful for that.
Hey, can I ask, is there an earthquake going on over there, or is the are you on your cell phone?
Yeah, I am on my cell phone because I'm currently at the Grossmont Union High School District ASB Leadership Conference. So I'm on my phone right now.
If there's any way we could steady the phone, it's a little shaky. I'm afraid.
Okay.
I'm afraid I might get a seizure of some sort.
Or seasick.
Sorry.
So
you're not driving me real quick. I'm gonna finish this.
But just quickly, I mean, under a different circumstance, you might not be alive right now, right? I mean, this is.
Yeah.
Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, without my procedures, my life would have been a lot shorter. So, and I'm grateful that my procedures went really well, and I'm here today. So, or I would be very limited to what I could do. I wouldn't be able to do what I do now.
I thought I was just chaperoning. You guys were just going to talk.
No, please. That's all. I'm sorry.
Aubrey, you said you're at the ASB leadership, so you do football, soccer, and you're the ASB. Are you president?
Yes. I'm captain of our Sound and Spirit section. So I run that little group within our ASB.
So how do you, Sound and Spirit, they come to the football games, but you're actually kicking in uniform. So how do you manage the spirit group during the game? Do you go over there?
Not really. I want to. I should get more involved with the student section, especially being a player. I feel like it'd get them really hyped. But my group, we also do all the senior night posters for every athletic team on campus. And we also run our pep rallies and our lunchtime activities. So I'm usually in front during those.
You're quite busy. Goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And why is that? Explain to me, is there something like you feel like you have to get as much life in as possible? Or, I mean, is that your mentality? Explain to me why you want to be so busy.
I also don't really know. Since I was younger, I've always been really busy. Like, I've been playing club soccer since I was 6 years old, and it's been busy, busy, busy. And I like being busy. I get really annoyed and paranoid when I'm not busy. I get bored really easily. So I feel like when I'm busy, I have something to do. And it's honestly helped me, like, set me up for, like, what I want to do in the future.
You know, you've dealt with serious health issues that none of us, you know, hopefully we're not going to experience for a while. Were you aware of how seriously ill you were, or did the adults in your life keep you keep your mind focused on positive things that you weren't aware?
It was I was really young when my condition was really bad. So my last surgery was when I was 3. So I don't really have like many memories of like things that happened, but like from what my parents have told me and other family members, it was really serious and really like devastating to them. So, but now I just kind of look back on it and they just tell me like stories and I'm just like, okay, like this happened, but I don't really remember much from when I was younger.
What do you remember?
I remember like I would watch after my open heart surgery. I was in the hospital for 7 days, and I used to watch the same 2 movies on repeat. I'd watch The Never-Ending Story and Dot and the Kangaroo on repeat. And I used to every morning for breakfast, I would order the chocolate chip pancakes from like the hospital's like cafe, I guess. And then like I remember like moments of like family coming and visiting me and like stuff like that.
You remember the important stuff.
Of those 2 movies,
Yes.
which is the best one?
Huh?
Of those 2 movies, which one do you recommend?
Oh, that's hard. I personally like Dot and the Kangaroo, but not many people have seen it, but I liked it when I was younger. It's like animated, but like not animated at the same time.
Is Never Ending Story the one with the goofy flying dog that looks like a dragon?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
The fact that you know it, just
I know,
that scares me more than
Well, that goes in my. So I have 2 boys, and I know you said you have no restriction going forward, but as a parent, once you go through that, you always have restrictions for everything. And then you wanted to play soccer. Were your parents at all like, yeah, maybe not, maybe it's not a good idea?
Not really. They've always told me to like shoot for what I want to do, and I can do anything I put my mind to it. Like, I mean, I've been playing soccer since I can like remember, but my parents just kind of like, they wanted me to do something physical to get my heart going. And it was also the doctor that pushed for it as well, actually. They wanted me to do some kind of sport that would get me active and get my heart rate up and get me going. And then when I said I wanted to be on the football team, my parents were like, okay, go do it. Like they didn't care. They were super supportive.
Now, how did that come about that you want, I mean, that's just you wanted to be on the football. Like, how does that even come about?
My best friend's older brother kicked for his high school team and he went to West Hills. So when we were younger, my friend and I were like, oh, like we'll both kick like when we get older. And then one of my other close friends, she was also a girl and also played soccer. She kicked for her high school, but she went to Newberry Park, which is up in Thousand Oaks, and she really loved it. So I was like, oh my gosh, seems so much fun. But I didn't really like try out for the team. Coach Damaja was my PE coach my freshman year. And then I just kind of told him, I was like, oh, like what would happen? Like, how would I be able to get on the team? Like if I wanted to kick. And he was like, oh, just come to practice. And I just started going to practices. And then that first year, so my sophomore year, I was on JV. And then because it was my first year. And then last year, my junior year, I was like 3rd string on varsity. So, and then this year I'm starting on varsity.
Good for you.
Am I correct? Because I remember doing one of your games last year, and weren't there 2 female kickers on the JV? Wasn't there 2 of you last year?
Last fall, there was 1 female kicker on the JV, and then I was on varsity. So there were 2 in total. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when did you? So give me you played goalie, right, in soccer?
Yes.
So when was you said you want to kick and you're at PE with Damaja, who's the head coach if people don't know. When was the first time you actually put it down in tee and tried to kick a field goal? Like, was that freshman year or was that 8th grade?
Yeah, it was kind of my freshman year. I was just like I said, I was just like, oh, I want to do it. So I went out one day and I just started practicing. And it took a second because football is a very different shape than a soccer ball. But I eventually got the hang of it. And yeah, I just kind of went out and like got the stuff, or I borrowed the stuff from a coach that I knew. And then I just started kicking and it's just gone up from there.
All right, so I was walking off the field yesterday, and I think it was Taylor that was saying you were good. You're good from 50 in. Was he being was he being optimistic, or can you really kick a 50-yard field goal?
My furthest in practice is 47 yards, but that's like on the tee, no holder, like nobody rushing. So it's like no pressure. But I would say I'm good from like the ball's on the 25 and in.
All right, so I was at the game.
So that's what did, hold it, let me do that. So that's, if the ball's on 20, so that's,
7 and 10.
so 17 on 25.
Yeah.
So do the math, that's 30.
can't.
All right, so hold it. So what does that make your range, Aubrey?
So probably like 40 yards in, like 42 around there. I'd be pretty decent.
So 25
So
in.
you'd make more than you'd miss from 42 and in.
Yeah,
All right,
I'd most likely make it.
do you watch film? Because I remember you got one of your extra points blocked in game. You guys watch film, and can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, one of the extra points got blocked, and we actually practice later today, so I'll probably watch it on film then. I haven't had a chance to look it over the weekend, but from what I was told is I came up the field and I felt like I went too slow. Personally, like I thought I went too slow, but the snap was kind of slow. No, I'm not hating on our snapper. I love our snapper and I love my teammates. And then also someone missed their block. It sounded like, so they got there like super fast.
Yeah, I think it was a left guard actually. Not calling, but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, not to call anybody out.
Yeah, it is a left guard, but I'm not calling
but
anybody
speak to the teamwork involved, because while you get the credit or the blame, it's really a three-pillar deal between the snapper, holder, and you have to work. There can't be a beat off. So talk about developing that chemistry. Talk about the secret behind developing that chemistry.
I mean, it's just definitely like getting to know your teammates, like off the field as well. Like I see most of my teammates every single day and we talk and we say hi, but it's also like at practice. Like at practice, like we'll work with like just me, the snapper and the holder. Like we'll just rep it out. Like we'll just keep going until it's golden and we feel pretty good about it.
You know, I was thinking too, you brought up Taylor. Taylor must be happy because Paul, you've been to Strike Force games. I don't think we've made a field goal
The Strike Force will hire you tomorrow.
We haven't made a field goal all year. Our guys miss every game.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, you could kick professionally. But what brings up the question, what do you want to do after school?
After high school, I'm going to go to a 4-year college. Not sure where yet, though. But eventually, I want to become a pediatric cardiologist to help like kids that have similar experiences as me. And I feel like with my experience, especially like with that, I'll be able to help them, and it'll just give me like an extra boost in that field.
That is genuine. Do you feel like that your future was decided by your past?
No, I feel like even without my condition, I would want to do something in the med field, but I chose something related to my condition because I've learned to accept my condition. Like at first I was like, oh my gosh, I have a condition. Like I'm like different or like not as like, I'm not normal. But slowly over time, I've learned to accept it and it's a part of who I am and I'm proud of it. So.
Oh, kid, you're better than normal. Don't worry about it. Normal's overrated.
We're not even normal.
And we're not half the person you are. So I don't even feel like I have to tell you that because it seems like you know it better than I do.
I got a question for you.
Sure, please.
So I saw you played for the Rebels, right, down south?
Yes.
Do you live in the South Bay?
No, I actually live like a mile away from Helix, and I drive 3 days a week down to Southwestern College for practice.
Oh, so you were always planning on going to Helix. I'm always wondering, like kids, like why they choose Helix. I know academically it's great, sports is great, the combination, but I always wonder why kids that travel.
Is Rebel is that a travel soccer team?
Isn't that Bonita, right?
Yes.
Bonita Rebels.
Yeah, it's located in Chula, so we mainly practice at Southwestern College. So yeah, Bonita.
And when did you start that? How old were you when you started the Rebels?
I actually went to Rebels this is my 3rd year at Rebels, and I've been kind of like at multiple clubs throughout San Diego. So it's like I was at San Diego Surf for a while, which was in Del Mar. I've been at Albion, which is in like OB. So I've been kind of all over. So I'm used to like traveling a lot for soccer.
Yeah. God, your parents must be saints. Could you talk a little bit about, whether you kind of get thrust into these leadership roles when you're a survivor like you are of this kind of odd, life-changing experience. People turn to you to help out other people who are now entering those life-changing experiences. one, do you do any of that? And two, when you meet with other children, what do you say to them?
Well, I go to a summer camp every year for like other kids with congenital heart disease. So it's on Catalina Island for 5 days, and everybody there has some sort of heart condition. So it's really cool to connect with people that have similar experiences as me. And like this year is my last year. So I really got to connect with the younger kids, and the youngest age is 7. So I hung out with them every day, and like, we don't even talk about our conditions really. We talk about like anything, like we're normal people. But if I were to say anything, I'd be to say like, be proud of it. Like, it makes you who you are, and it makes you unique. And like our guest speaker today at the conference said, it's a unique value, and it like, you have your own value, and it makes you who you are.
Bravo.
I feel shallow asking this question after that one. But,
okay.
So, what do you give me between the two? What you like better, football or soccer? Because a couple things. You know, you go to Helix and the stadium's filled. There's bagpipes and the energy's crazy. And then you go to a soccer game, it's a little different.
No bagpipes.
Yeah. No
Just
bagpipes,
parents.
no student section. Yeah, just parents,
Just
basically. But I don't know. So many people have asked me this, and it always changes. But I guess right now I'd have to say football, because it's football season, so it's like the best time of the year. And like, I'm playing club at the same time, but it's not the same. But definitely right now football, because I'm like currently in the middle of the season.
I mean, that was the energy there. I mean, the whole place was filled. Student section that you run was great for ASB, the spirit section.
Yeah, it was great.
And
Hey,
bagpipes and just crazy.
what's the? I'll ask this both ways. Biggest kick you've made, biggest kick you've missed.
Cool. I'll start with the biggest kick I've missed. It was my JV year, and we were tied with El Camino actually, and we scored a touchdown, and I went out to do the extra point, and I missed wide left. I swung way too far across, and we ended up tying that game because JV doesn't go into overtime. So that's probably the biggest kick I missed. And then the biggest kick I made, that's hard because I've never really been put like on the spot. I think probably last year when we played Madison, it was my first time ever going into a varsity game, and just, I don't know, the energy. I was super nervous before. I was like gonna pee my pants. Like, it was so bad. Like, they're like, okay, you're gonna go in on the next kick. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, oh. But it wasn't really like a lot of pressure. It was just like, that's like the biggest moment, is like first time going in a game on varsity.
And how, I want to go back, I don't want to be the negative one, but so you missed the kick and you end up, well, you didn't lose, you end up tied. That's not bad. How's it when you come off to the sideline? How are all the kids usually?
Well, usually when I come out to the sideline like that, everyone's like, it's okay, like, it's not your fault. Or even this past Friday, like when mine got blocked, they're like, it's not your fault, like, just move on to the next one. But when I make it, everyone's really supportive. Like, everyone comes up and like, good job, Aubrey. But I definitely like feel the support from my team. Like, if I miss or I don't miss, like, yeah, our team definitely has that like bond and like team atmosphere.
Do you kick off as well?
No, I stick to field goals and extra points. I kicked off a little bit last year, but this year our kickoff is Marco. So I just do field goal and extra point.
When you kicked off last year, would you run down there full speed, try to make the tackle, or would you kind of lay behind and be the safety?
I would kind of lay behind, and then there was one moment last year against West Hills where the returner like came all the way down, and I tried to get him because I was like, I'm not going to let him score a touchdown. And after that, I went off the field, and Coach Samaj was like, Aubrey, don't do that again. Just let him go. I'm like, but Coach, you want me to let him score? Like, I'm going to try to stop him. Like,
Hey, well, I mean, there's some logistic issues. Where do you dress? Do you have your own locker room? How does that work?
yeah, next to the boys' locker room, there's a girls' locker room. So usually I will change in there. And then when the guys aren't changing in their locker room, I go in there because that's where we get like all our information from the Maja and stuff. Or like pregame, just like, because we have like we play music and get hype in there. So I like being in there and talking to everybody.
I find your story fascinating. I could talk to you for hours, young lady. Geez. And I give kudos to, you have to give kudos to the coaching staff and to the guys on the team because there are places where you wouldn't be accepted, and the fact that they have embrace you in this and treat you like one of their own. You are one of the own. I mean, what a unique thing. I hope you realize how special it all is.
Yeah, I'm definitely super grateful for the coaching staff for letting me be a part of the team. And I was definitely at first I was scared that the people on the team weren't gonna like me, or they'd be like, oh, she's a girl, we're not gonna talk to her and stuff. But I actually feel like I'm close with most of my teammates, almost all of them. I talked to every single one of them basically, and they just accepted me. And I mean, they know I'm a girl and it's a little different, but they treat me as one of their own teammates.
All right, besides DiMaggio, you brought the coach. Oh, go ahead.
Well, can I just say?
Of course you can. You're the boss.
Well, no, because that starts from DiMaggio.
Yeah, it does.
And you got to give him credit because the coach takes, if he wasn't cool with it, then no one would be cool with it. Yeah. What a unique young man DiMaggio Jones is.
Yeah, we talked to him again, and you so much last year. I don't know if you saw the clips. DiMaggio, when he was up for the Silver Pigskin, he had what would you call that outfit? It was like a yellow zoot suit or something.
It was like something it was
from the Never-Ending Story. It's something like you'd wear riding that. But just you never hear a bad word about DiMaggio. Everything's positive.
And because that's teaching everybody. It teaches you, and it teaches the guys how to be around you, and that's such a subtle life lesson. That, boy, I hope people in Helix appreciate what they have in their head coach, because that's just really, really cool.
I got one more. All right, so you brought the coaches. Besides DiMaggio, who's your favorite coach?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think. I like Coach Taylor, but I like all the coaches. Just saying, I love all of them. Or I like Coach Cook a lot. He's really funny.
That's what I thought you were going to say, yeah, Jimmy Cook.
Cook always talks to me during practice, and it's just about random stuff, funny stuff. So, but I love all of them. They're all really amazing.
All right, so for the young special teamers out there, give us your swing thought as you're out on the field marking your steps off. What is going through your head?
What's going through my head is I tell myself, I'm just relax, just breathe. I take I take my steps and I look up and I look at my aiming point, and then I take a deep breath and I think to myself, it's just practice. This is not any different. So I just tell myself to relax because I overthink a lot. So it's and when I'm ready, I'm ready. I don't like to sit back there for very long.
Do you know right away if it's good or not?
As soon as I hit it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can usually tell if it's good or not because I know by where my foot hits the ball, if it's more on my toe or on my ankle. So I'm looking for that sweet spot, but I can know if it doesn't hit it. And I also know if I swing too far across instead of straight up because my hips will be turned. So usually I can tell if it's good or not.
Well,
as long as the left guard makes the block.
Young lady, you're a great story. Just in our conversations with you you're going to be invited to the Silver Pigskin Gala on December 3rd of this year. So please make sure you're not traveling because we want to have you there. I want to be able to say hi and who knows? You might even be up for Special Team Player of the Year. So depending on how your season goes. So just. Please, what a unique story. I hope a lot of people watch this podcast and find out how to deal. You hear that saying, you make lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, you make them out of tomatoes?
You know what I'm saying. When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. Do you feel like you're kind of an example of that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, life has definitely given me good and bad things, and I've definitely made what I can out of it, and it's just sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but that's just how life is personally, in my opinion. There's good and there's bad.
Aubrey, I'm sorry. We always have 18-year-olds, and he always brings up sayings from the 1940s and Depression era sayings that nobody knows what they are.
Aubrey, I'm impressed that you were able to make the earthquake go away. You settled down with the camera work, and I appreciate you making time for. Oh, Aubrey, one question I wanted to ask you.
Give me your email.
The camp that you go to. Now, I got a bunch of pictures from Marcus. But that camp that you were talking about, where you pay it forward a little bit, do you have any pictures of that camp that I can use?
I have a bunch of pictures from over the years, from like my first year to like my past year from like 2 weeks ago that I can send you.
Okay, can I give you my email? It's prudy@kusi.com. Prudy, R-U-D-Y, at kusi.com. Aubrey, we start editing this in about 45 minutes time, so the sooner you can send them to us, the better.
Aubrey, I'll text you his email too. I'll text you his email.
And I'll see you at the gala, and
I will be there.
God bless, and thank you for doing this on such short term. Once we saw Marcus's story, we knew we had to have you, so thank you. PPR Podcast number 179 is over. Everybody turn off your machines.
Thank you, Aubrey.
Thank you.
God, if only the boys were that good.